Zig Ziglar is known for saying you can have everything in life you want if you would just help other people get what they want. He also said that the more people you help, the more value you bring, the more money you are able to earn. He believed that life is about service and that people will pay you just for using your talents to help them. Now, before you decide to leave 9 to 5, I'm going to reveal 7 crucial skills that you need before you leave and decide to walk away from 9 to 5 employment. Now, watch all the way to the end, and I'm going to reveal to you one of the biggest one that's had the deepest impact in my life. So first and foremost, tip number 1 is outsourcing. Now, when I was a bachelor, I did what I wanted to do. And guess what? I then got married June 2012, and within a few months, my wife, my new bride, started to notice a pattern. She said, Emmanuel, there's something I noticed that I don't really think is really good. You would literally finish work, come home, eat, and then go back and do some more work. If you carry on this pattern, Emmanuel, this is not going to be good for you, because when the kids come, you won't even have time for them. You won't have time for yourself. You won't even have time for me. So something has to change. Can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when I heard this from my wife, I felt like it was slapping my face. It resonated with me because I recognized something needs to be done, but it felt like a slap in the face because no one has challenged me about this ever. As a bachelor, I was doing that same pattern. I was doing that because it was just me trying to, do my side hustle and trying to make extra cash. And I never realized how it was going to impact my own wife if I carried on that same routine. So something had to change. So it meant that, to be absolutely honest, at that point, I started to pray. I started to ask God, I don't actually know what I should be doing in order to transition from trying to do everything myself to maybe get someone else to help me to do it. Now, reality is, I believed a lie, and I don't know whether you actually believe this lie yourself, but I believed a lie because some people I met used to keep saying to me, I want that Imantech touch. I want that touch that you have when you create certain graphics, when you create certain designs for us. And that's exactly what they knew that they wanted. But the lie I bought was this, that I was the only person who could replicate that kind of concept all by myself. And that was an absolute lie. I never realized that there are people who are skilled and talented who are just as ready to say, Emmanuel, I will help you to recreate what's on your mind without you having to do it. I just never thought that they'll do it to the standard that I would until I started to speak. As I mentioned, I prayed about it, and I believe that God began to lead me to different people that I would speak to, including one of them was actually my sister. So I spoke to her, and then they were just telling me, look, there's different platforms online that you can actually go and write down a brief of what you're looking for, and then you can tell someone and wait for bids to come in. And as those bids come in, you'll be able to analyze each and every one of them to see if they understood what you're asking to be done, if they've understood the heart of what you're trying to do, and if they're also willing to do it at a fair price. So that's how I found a few platforms such as People Per Hour, Fiverr.com, Upwork.com. I started to use these different resources to start to send out different briefs on different things. And can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, one awesome thing that took place is that I found myself working less but earning more, just simply by learning the skill of outsourcing. So let's move on to the next tip. Tip number 2, customer service skills. This is one crucial one. This is so important. Don't you just love it when you go to a restaurant and someone serves you with a smile? They're not grumpy, they're not frowning, they're just smiling all the way, from literally feeling like they're delighted to serve you. What if you did that same thing to someone else as you are trying to serve them in your business, in your side hustle? What if you do that? Can I guarantee you something? They will feel like not only are you dedicated and compassionate about them, that they will make it clear that you are the one they want to work with, simply because of your demeanor, the way you come across. Now, How do you want to make people feel when they encounter you? Do you want them to feel grumpy? Or do you want them to feel excited to want to pay you, excited to want to spend time letting you know about their vision so that you can understand and be able to put together a solution for them? So you need to be very intentional about this. Serve people with a smile. That's really my motto. People should feel a sense of that you are here to simply add value to their life, that you are here to serve them. Guess what? Don't be afraid to fail. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Have you ever tried to ride a bike before? How many of you have actually rode a bike the very first time and just went, 100 miles an hour? I guarantee you that most of us haven't. Most of us will actually grab a bike, go on it the first time, and then we'll drop. Then the second time, we'll lick our wounds and we'll go again and we'll drop again. And the time you do it persistently over time, guess what starts happening? You start to get really good at riding a bike. Okay, so check this out. I had a situation that took place just this week, and I have to open this up to you so you can understand that any single one of us, no matter how much experience you have, you can make mistakes. I made a mistake. So I had actually gone away to a conference last week. And during that conference, I received a phone call from a client. I remember an email she wrote to me. I kind of didn't have a chance to read it thoroughly, but I was just catching up just to check on that email, just so acknowledge that I did receive the email. And she said, look, hey, from the looks of it, from what I heard from her, I thought that maybe it's not exactly top priority for her, because she seemed a bit busy when I spoke to her, and she didn't really convey to me that it felt like it was something that she needed to have urgently. And guess what happened? I mistakenly took this as something that I can put on the back burner just a little bit, push it aside until a much more convenient time. But the problem is that I had actually made a promise to her that I was willing to, perhaps on the same day, if I can get some bandwidth after finishing my conference, to just jump on her project and be able to help her. But I did not write this down, so therefore it went off my radar. Fast forward, earlier this week, I spoke to her over the phone, and guess what? She was not happy. She was not happy with me. And guess what happened? I first of all listened to her, acknowledged and validated that actually what she said was absolutely true. I did wrong. I admitted that I did wrong. And I wasn't happy about that. It wasn't the standard I expected of myself. And it's not the standard that I want her to expect of me. So I apologized to her. And I made it clear to her that, look, I am dedicated to serving you. I want to make sure that I finish this even today. So I said to her, look, I'm very sorry about this. I know that money is not the focus right now for you in regards to this, but I'm willing to cancel any kind of invoice I'm looking to send in this, simply because I want to show you that I'm dedicated to serving you. I want to help you. So I apologize. Now, this is a client that I've had for well over 10 years. So I value such long-standing, loyal clients. So more so, whether it's a new or an old client, I still want to be able to give them my 100% best all the time. So that's exactly what I did for this client. I managed to pull out something that she absolutely loved, and within literally a matter of hours, the job was done, the work was completed, she was happy again. Now, again, as I mentioned, don't be afraid to fail, because in all these things, it will shape and mold your character. Now, people want to do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. And if you can ensure that you can allow yourself to become a trustworthy person that people can still keep trusting, even if something doesn't quite go to plan, then I guarantee you're going to keep on having a consistent flow of people wanting to do business with you again and again. So the third tip I want to give you is project management skills. Now, what does that even mean? It simply means the very word managing a project in a skillful manner. Now, time management is one of the most crucial aspects when it comes to the aspects of project management. Now, you have to master how you use your time. You can't put a priority on something that feels good, but actually something that is of higher priority should become your priority on your task list. Each and every day, I make sure that, as well as having an overall picture of what kind of projects I'm trying to focus on, I also make sure that I get my daily list and break down what are the specific things I need to focus on as a top priority, and what are the things that are okay to wait at a much later stage. And one of the ways I try to achieve this productivity hack is literally ensure that if I'm focusing on some project, switch off my phone, switch off my email alerts. I don't want to be hearing ding, 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 telling me that I have a new email. That can wait. I can get back to that after I have this focused time. So that is one of the things that's going to be very important, tracking your progress, implementing some kind of project management tool such as Trello. So everything's not all on your head, but if you can grab everything, place it into a software that can at least be accessible on your phone, that could be accessible on your desktop, that can allow you to make sure, okay, you can see which projects are in progress, which projects are completed, which projects either require something in order to move it from a bottleneck stage to the actual progression stage. So again, these are the types of tools. You can use tools such as Asana. I use one called Trello. So again, look out for that. I'm happy if you want me to drop the link to Trello, please let me know, and I'm happy to just drop you to the specific link. Again, it's a free tool that can really help you to track your project and be able to know what project you're currently working on and what status they are. So the fourth item and the fourth tip I'll give you is writing project briefs. Now, this is a skill that I didn't really know of initially. As I mentioned in my earlier example, I didn't really know how to outsource until I began to learn by doing. I began to learn that it's not just telling people I want A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H done. I actually need to convey it in such a way that it's so clear in the mind of the person I'm outsourcing to, so that they won't have to have 10,000 calls or 10,000 emails back and forth just to gain clarification. So I spent time learning how to think through what exactly first and foremost does the client want. I needed to listen intently to the client. I need to make sure that if we have a Zoom call, sometimes I might even ask their permission to record the video, so that after that video I can either go away and look at my notes again and compare my notes and even expand on my notes, get maximum clarity from that one touch point with the client to help them know that one, I heard you. Two, I'm very much engaged in finding a solution to your problem. Therefore, that's why I'm taking the time to write a good brief for people in my team. And that's exactly one of the things that I would recommend that you do. Record a Zoom meeting if necessary. Again, remember, it's not about you. It's about you having a heart to serve someone else, pushing aside your needs to think, what does this person need? How can I listen in such a way that I can really understand that business client's needs as if it was my own business, so that when I package a solution and I put together the strategy to solve that problem, it does not become about me, but about how I help them hit their goals in a fast and effective way. So that's how I learned that writing a good brief, sometimes I will actually communicate after writing that brief. I'll give some screenshots, I'll give some examples, and one power hack that I have is I use a Loom video. That's LOOM.com. If you went to Loom, you can get a free one. That's literally a free service. You can record your screen. You can literally explain to your contractor or to whoever you plan to outsource the work to, be able to communicate very clearly exactly what you're looking for, and even show examples and encapsulate it in a very short 5-minute video. Now, I'm not on the Zoom free plan. I'm on the paid plan simply because I've created thousands of videos over the years. I absolutely love that tool. I literally almost use Loom almost every few hours and every single day. Let's just say that's how powerful of a tool it is since I discovered it. But Loom is something that allowed me to have created tutorials for clients, created good communication to people. It helped me to really communicate quite well. Every brief that I put together, I'll find that my contractors are in a position of understanding it quite clearly, and they can watch the video again and again and again without having to ask me more clarification questions. But of course, I'm always on hand should they need any clarification. But again, that's just a tip that I would recommend, that you learn how to write project briefs in such a way where you convey quite clearly what the client needs, but also making sure that you do it at such a top level that we capture the heart of what the client is trying to achieve. So the fifth tip I'll give you is a commitment to delivering an excellent outcome. Now, if you put yourself in your client's shoes, if you thought that whatever they're trying to do is actually you trying to do that, how would you think? How would you feel? What are the things that are success metrics you're going to need to have done in order to make sure that you deliver an excellent outcome for the client? That should be how you are so obsessed about solving a problem for them. And guess what? When you obsess about solving a problem for your client, they're going to obsess about paying you. They're going to be obsessing about working with you again. They're going to be obsessing about finding other people they're going to tell to do work business with you, simply because they had such a great experience working with you. So that's one thing I would say. If it makes sense for you to do even deeper research than you've done, go ahead and do a deeper research. Again, think of it from this perspective. What is it going to take for me to have a great project so that at the end of the day, I'm going to ask this client for a 5-star review? These are the very important things to ask yourself before you embark on that project. Number 6 is get into a group coaching community. Now, listen, right now, I am part of a couple of group coaching communities. In fact, one of them, my coach told me as homework, Emmanuel, you need to record your YouTube video. And that's exactly why I recorded my very first video. For too many years, I've been speaking to clients that, hey, you need to be on YouTube. I've even helped them to create YouTube channels. I've even helped them to create the branding, the graphics, and all kinds of different things. I've even helped them to do the SEO, the title and all kinds of different things to really get the description right, to create a thumbnail. Literally, I was working behind the scenes in helping the client show up and look good for their target audience. But I never thought that actually this was the timing for me to do the same and actually start to reach people. So I listened to my coach, and I did not want to turn up on the next following week without having done my homework. That's the reason why I made sure that I recorded my video and I was ready to start talking to you and making friends with you. Okay, so that group coaching is part of one thing I would absolutely recommend, where I am filled with other people who are like-minded. We're all trying to do something and do something excellently well in our businesses and really progress. And so that's one thing I would absolutely recommend that you be a part of. Look out for group coaching community. When I say group coaching, because typically one-on-one coaching I feel like is not as powerful as you can have from a group coach, where sometimes people can ask questions that you have not even thought about asking, but it's absolutely the kind of answer you need for where you are in your business. And that's the reason why I recommend that, being part of a group coaching circle of people. Now, that's going to help you as well to find that there are people who are like-minded, people who are thinking in a slightly different approach, and it will cause you to start saying, hold up, why am I thinking this way? You start to challenge some of your, let's say, dumb habits, some of your things that's actually led you to a place where you've got a wrong mindset. Some of these things will be challenged while you are in there. So I'd say invest in yourself, partner with a coach, partner with it like a coach who has an organized support system that is within a community. Okay, and again, this can all be done easily via Zoom. If you need any help with at least a couple of suggestions of even the coaching communities I'm part of, I'll be happy to recommend them. I'm not affiliated to any of them. All I know is when I see something good, I am happy to share the news and tell someone else. So if you need that, drop me a comment and let me know. I'll read every single one of my comments and I'll be able to respond to you with a direction to go with what I'm working on. So one of the things I'll say as well, and I've saved the best for the last. Tip number 7, mindset. Mindset is absolutely the crucial game changer for me, okay? Because let me just say this, if you build a house and the foundation isn't laid right, it will absolutely cause a lot of things to start to crumble. And mindset serves as a foundation that you need to keep on making sure you invest in. Now, without the right mindset as a foundation, a lot of things will struggle for you to try to make the transition from your 9-to-5 job into a business. So again, I hear you to ask, Emmanuel, how can I begin to start changing my mindset? I'm glad you asked. So I'm going to tell you the answer. It's very simple. you need to start to begin to focus on reading. You need to be intentional about what you feed your mind, because like the saying goes, we've even heard it in the Bible where it says that you will reap what you sow. Okay, I'm just paraphrasing it, but the whole idea is this: you don't plant apple seeds and reap an orange tree. If you keep sowing, you will reap. So if you are in that position where you start to sow into your mind, the garden of your mind, non-fiction books, and I say non-fiction, not all these fantasy books that are just storytelling that have no good bearing on exactly even moving the needle in your favor. So I would say looking at things like non-fiction books and listening to audio training as well, audio books, audio training. People like Zig Ziglar inspire me, Jim Rohn, Myron Golden, Samuel I Can Win. All these people, you can drop their names into YouTube even right now, and you're going to find different content, tons of content that they have put out over the years to give value to you. So that's something that as you start to feed into this and feed into that, you're going to find that it starts to flush out rubbish out of your mind in order to put good stuff inside. And when you start to have good stuff inside, guess what starts to happen? You start to behave differently. You start to begin to think differently, because you're planting different and new seeds that's generating a better and a different kind of outcome. So if you don't like the output, change the input. How do we change the input? We simply input books. We input learning, audiobooks. These are the type of things that have really helped me. So I've got a couple of books here that I could certainly recommend. Right now I'm reading this book here, The Imperfect Leader. Okay, so that's one book I would recommend, is by Davis H. Taylor. Another one that's I literally been reading recently is The Miracle Equation. Okay, that is one book by Hal Elrod. I've read it once, but I'm going to read it over again, and actually with this time, implementation. You're not trying to go 100 miles an hour in the books that you are trying to read. That's not the aim. The aim is actually to learn and implement and actually create something out of what you have learned. It might be that you've read this book, but if you took the time to actually implement the strategies, you're going to find that, okay, it might have to stop you from reading 10 other books simply because you're focused on delivering what you've now learned on that one book. That can be a game changer for one small issue you're dealing with. Now, you can start working on all these tips, right? And even without leaving your 9-to-5 job. So I will absolutely recommend that whilst you're still on your 9-to-5 job, make time. Make time in the evenings. Make time when you are on your way back from work. Make time to say, you know what, I'm on my way back from work. Let me pick up a book. I'm on my way back from this commitment. Let me listen to an audiobook. Let me listen to something that will challenge me, something that will cause me to start to think differently. Let me engage with that past video from a coaching community video that I was, either part of during an evening call. Something like that will begin to inspire you and begin to cause you to think differently. Now, if you've got any comments, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Which one of these 7 tips really resonates with you? Again, I'd love to have even your own small description of what's actually taking place in your own part, that you can say, you know what, Emmanuel, I get you. I get exactly what you're saying about this. I'd love to hear your comments. So please feel free to drop your comment on the comment section. So if you found this video helpful, can I ask you one small favor? Share this video with one person that you can think of that actually will benefit from watching this video. That's all I'm asking. That's one small favor I ask. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe, drop a comment, all that YouTube stuff that we do. Go ahead and do that. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.